Hello and welcome to this guitar lesson video presented to you from Woodsongs. We're in Boulder, Colorado. My name is Dennis Burns. I'm a longtime guitar teacher here at Woodsongs. Today I'll be teaching you to play Here Comes the Sun. I'm playing it on one of the guitars we carry at Woodsongs. It's a Santa Cruz OM Grand guitar. It has a solid spruce top and rosewood back and sides, also all solid wood. And it's a beautiful sounding guitar. It really lends itself to this kind of a song very well. So I hope you enjoy the lesson. Okay, so let's dive in with the introduction. The introduction is pretty much the same material as the verse of the song, give or take a few notes. So we'll begin with a D chord. And the first melody we want to bring out is this melody. Okay, so I'm holding a D chord. I play the first string with a downstroke, upstroke on the second string, lift the first string open, downstroke, upstroke, closing the finger back down on the second fret of the first string. And then I'm going to play the second string, but I'm also going to use an upstroke. The reason I use an upstroke there is I'm going to do what I call a filler stroke. A filler stroke is simply something that when there's nothing happening in the melody, we just do some sort of a background strum just to fill in the time. So a filler stroke's very light sounding. Most importantly, it stays out of the way of the melody. Okay, so if the melody's on the first string and you just struck that note when you do your filler stroke, stay below the first string because our ears are going to hear the melody as the highest sound. You're also going to play the filler stroke a little bit softer as well. So that gives you this effect. Okay, so that little thing right there that I didn't do very well, that's my filler stroke. Okay. Now if you want to on the first strum of the first note of the chord, you might give it a big D chord strum like this. So you could do a single note like this if you prefer. And then sort of get into your strumming, or you could start right off the bat with a strum. Okay? And that's true throughout this song. Sometimes you'll want more of a, it's really your choice. You might want more of a single note sound. Or you might want more of a strumming kind of quality throughout the whole thing. So it would be good to vary it throughout the song. Maybe start the song out with more single note sounds and then kind of go more into more strumming type melody sounds. So that's the first measure. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Next measure, on the first beat, we're still on the D chord. You do downstroke. First string is the melody note. Upstroke, lift the first string open. And then we do a filler stroke on beat 2. Then upstroke on upstroke on the second string. So that sounds like this. So the first beat is a full beat of filler. Maybe I wasn't clear on that the first time. So it's beat 1 is just this. Just filling in the beats, not trying to bring out a melody. Beat 2 we do. Okay, beat 3 we do a filler stroke on the downstroke, then upstroke on the second string. Bring that note out very clearly. So that sounds like this. And how many beats is that? 1, 2, and 3, and we still have beat 4. We're going to fill it in with filler stroke, down and up. So that takes us through 2 measures right there. I told you this would be a slow process. However, at the end of that second measure, he's going to change to a G chord. And on the and of 4, instead of doing 2 filler strokes on the D chord, the down and up, we're going to release the strings and just play open strings, sort of on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string while we go to the G chord, like that. So, and the way you're going to go to the G chord is you're just going to use the second finger on the G bass note, the 3rd fret of the 6th string, And we're going to block the sound of the fifth string with the side of the finger. So instead of being vertical with the finger, be a little bit tilted, so you're blocking the fifth string. So you have that sound on the G chord. So what this does is it allows you to change the chord more easily. It also creates syncopation. It creates an effect that the chord has come in a half beat early, which sounds great. It happens in music all the time, especially with acoustic guitar playing and people changing chords. You hear these little breaths of open strings, and it makes the guitar part breathe a little bit, so it has this sound. You see? So I played on that last upstroke of the second measure, the second and third string. When I hit that bass note on G, that's the beginning of my third measure. And we do this. Okay? So the way you can practice this, so we do the upstroke on the second and third string approximately. The melody note is the second string. I'm on the G chord. This is the and of 4. So this is 4 and 1. Then put the third finger down on the second string, third fret, upstroke, filler stroke, leave that third finger down. Play the first string open, it's already there. This is considered a G6 chord. Go back to the filler stroke on the sixth string, then upstroke on the second string. The third finger is still on the third fret. And then one full beat of filler, just down and up. Okay? Just sort of something in the background. So that measure sounds like. I'm not sure if I actually said to lift the third finger after that or not. So if I did not, that's what it should be. It's on the second string, it's open. Third fret. First string open. Back to the second string. Lift the second string open. Okay, that's our third measure. A7 chord. The melody we want to bring out is this. So it's on 1 and 2 and 3 and. So strumming wise, we're going to strum with a downstroke down to the second string. Don't hit the first string because we want to hear the second string as the melody. One trick you can do, it's sort of cheating, but sometimes if I think I'm going to hit that first string when I don't want to, and I'm strumming, I might just put my pinky on the string and mute the string. So even if I hit it, you won't hear it. But better to learn to be more accurate. That comes with time. So this melody, so I'm on the A7, I'm going on the second string with a continuous down and up strokes. I'm going 2, open, 2, 3, that's A7 suspended, lift the third finger, and go down to the first string. The reason we want to lift that third finger is if you don't lift it, it tends to clash with the first string open. We get that sound, and it's not really what we want. We want a nice clear melody. Like that. As opposed to this. See? It's a little foggy sounding. So there's 4 bars right there. So it's 1, play it that well. Give it another go. So here's 4 bars. Okay, the next 4 bars starts very much the same. So now we need the first beat. So we just do a filler stroke on D. Same as the first measure. Sorry. No different than the first measure, except we filled in the first beat. Second beat goes, we have filler on beat 1. Second measure of the second 4 bars. Okay, the difference this time now is we're going to leave that third finger down on the second string. We're still going to go to the G and the bass. We're going to hit it on the upstroke, the and of 4. And then I'm going to put my first finger down on the first string's second fret. That's a G major 7 chord. Lift, I do the filler stroke, lift that string open, filler stroke, upstroke on the second string. My third finger should still be there. Then I do filler stroke on the fourth beat of the measure, just in the low part of the G chord. Here we just do an A7. Just let it ring for 4 beats. This is where on the Abbey Road recording you hear a synthesizer do this dropping sound. So there's your introduction. We start with the chorus. The chorus of the song is when they start singing, "Here comes the sun." Okay, excuse me. So the melody on the chorus is a little bit different than the verse. So we have 1 beat of filler. Then the melody is so. They'll sing with that. Here comes the sun. And then we have a beat of filler after that. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and filler, which is beat 1. Then this little riff. It's still on a D chord, okay? And I'm, again, with the pick. Down, up, down, up. I'm just going on the D chord from the first string to second string upstroke, first string open, first string second fret upstroke. And then we have a filler full beat. Okay, so that sounds like this. If you want to, later in the song, there's some organ on that, and they really emphasize that. So instead of doing this really delicate sound with single strings, which is great maybe for the first time through, or it's up to you, you might really lay into it with the full D chord. You might go. Okay, so here comes the sun. Now here I've gone to the G major 7 again. 3rd fret 6th string, 3rd fret 2nd string. My first finger's on the 1st string 2nd fret. So filler on beat 1, go all the way down to the 1st string, lift the 1st string open, put it back down. Okay, so that measure sounds like this. And then filler. So that's the second Here Comes the Sun. So the first one, here comes the sun. So after that G major 7, I'm going to go to an E7 chord. My 3rd finger remains on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. So this is kind of an unusual fingering of E7, but it makes the chord transition very smooth. So we leave that there, and then we finger the traditional E7 chord on the 2nd fret of the 5th string and the 1st fret of the 3rd string. So we actually have 2 7ths in this chord. We have a 7th here, which is a D note, and we have a 7th on the 4th string open. But the reason we do it that way is it's very smooth coming from the G major 7. You'll notice minimal hand movement while my 3rd finger remains. Okay. The melody you want to bring out, which I didn't do very well there, is I guess it could be either. Here comes the sun, or here comes the sun. I believe it should be that one. So, so when you do that upstroke on the E7 chord, shoot for the 2nd string. See that upstroke? I hit from the 2nd string upward. No 1st string. And then filler stroke. Then we get to this part. D chord. We have a full beat there. You could just do a downstrum if you want, or you could do down up. Then we have the phrase where he sings, "It's all right." And that is on a D chord again, down up, 1st string 2nd fret to the 1st string open. And then again, second string, third fret, the finger's already there, upstroke. 2 ups in a row because we're going to do a filler stroke in between. Okay? You don't have to do that filler stroke there if you prefer to just go. That's fine. Then you could use a downstroke on the second string. So it sounds like this. Or with the filler stroke. Okay? And that's on It's Alright. It's alright. Then we get this iconic guitar lick that everybody hears it and they say, oh, that's Here Comes the Sun. This is an important one to get. So what you do is, I start with the third string, second fret, use the third finger. Slide it to the fourth fret. Okay? Leave it there. Put the third fret of the second string down with the second finger and play the first string open. So we have this sound. Then release the third finger, put the second finger down, first finger on the third string, second fret. So we have part of a D chord. It's like a D chord with the first string open. Same pattern, third string, second string, first string. And then we open up that string. Still leave the third fret of the second string down. Go back to the chord you were just on. Third string, second fret goes back down. Now, the pick hand is doing something that's very important to understand. This is called cross-picking in the bluegrass world. What I'm doing is with my pick, I'm going down, down, up. It gets my hand going in the direction I need to go for the next downstroke. Right? Down, down, up, continuously. Sorry. If you integrate it with that slide, so you see why we're using the third finger for that slide, so I'm in position for that chord. Now I have a scale. I play the notes D, C sharp, B, and A. If you don't know those note names, it's the second string, third fret, second fret, open, and third string, second fret. There we want to switch to down and up alternate picking. Okay? So together it sounds like this. So for the most part, my fingerings in this song, I'm in the key of D. I'm using second position fingerings. What that means is my first finger is pretty much designated to the second fret. We will use the first fret later down the road, but not right away. Now, if you don't want to do the down and up alternate picking on the scale, there's a couple other options. I think George Harrison actually uses a slur or a hammer-on or pull-off. Somewhere in there, a pull-off it would be. So from D to C sharp, I can just pluck the third fret and pull off to the C sharp, to the second fret. And I can do the same thing, but cross over to the third string and go from the fourth fret to the second fret. So that sounds like this. So there you would just use 2 downstrokes. Oops, excuse me, my capo has become decapoized. So here's the cross-picking pattern. So that was with 2 pull-offs. So the choice is yours, whatever you want to do there. So, what have I done? Sorry about that. Okay. So the lick, if I ever get through it, that is. And then we have a D chord. Filler stroke for 1 beat. You're sure to already know that lick from previously in the song. So on the first string, D chord, second string, upstroke, first string open, downstroke, upstroke on the second fret. when you lift that first finger from the D chord, that's called D add 9. Sometimes you see it written as suspended 2, D sus2. It's all the same thing. It's just a D chord with a variation. So as far as something about rhythm that's very important in this song that will become more important even later is when you do that particular lick. So we have 4 beats and a measure in this song. Here's the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. The eighth notes are 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So quarter note, eighths. You take that stream of eighth notes, you group them in threes. And so how do you group them? Well, you accent number 1, or you play a big chord on number 1. You do something to separate 1 from the other 3. So here's my quarter notes. 2, 3, 4, eighth notes. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Here's my stream of eighth notes. I'm going to group them in threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's called 3/8 time. So it could be written in 4/4 time and spreading out the eighth notes evenly over 2 measures, or you could think of it in 3/8 time. I think that's actually more beneficial. So it's like, I'll do it without the slides so you can hear the timing. From there we go directly to the verse. Okay, the first verse is the part that goes, little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. So when you're playing that part, and if you're singing, that you're basically playing the part you're singing. So we've already gone over this material, this section. Sorry. So that little filler stroke, or filler lick right there, you'll be using that in the song a fair amount, between the verses as well. So this section, if you're singing along with the guitar part, it would be, little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. So do you hear that little turnaround lick on the A7 chord? So it's... So on the second string, down, up, we're going from 2, open, 2, 3, first string open. And then we do the chorus again. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. So that little section right there, that's the turnaround I was referring to that goes back to the second verse. Okay, so after we do the lick, and we have this phrase, we play a D chord, and then A7, and then we do the second verse, which is the smiles returning to their faces. It seems like years since it's been here. Yeah, so it's just the smiles that's different, right? Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Chorus, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, I say. Now we get to the next part of the song. So notice there I didn't do the turnaround lick on the A7. I did the D thing. 2 strums of A. Just get a solid A chord. It's 2/4 time. It's just 1, 2. Now we're going to go into 3/8 time. So this song has lots of cool rhythmic changes in it. So remember that thing about grouping the eighth notes into threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the next section is where you hear all the sun, 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 here it comes. We're going to do an A major chord, but as an arpeggio, one note at a time. So you're going to play the 5th string open, the 4th fret of the 5th string, I use the 3rd finger, and the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Those are the notes of an A major chord, A, C sharp, E. As far as the pick strokes, it's kind of up to you. You could use a hammer on the 5th string, or you could go alternate picking, down, down, up, down. Or you might do the cross picking pattern. You might go down, down, up. Because we're about to go into cross picking for quite some time. After that, we do an F chord. All you need are the inner strings of the F chord. You need the 3rd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and 1st fret 2nd string. So that gives us this. Cross picking, down, down, up. So that's one measure of 3/8 time. C chord, all you need are the lower 2 notes of the C chord. If you want to finger the top note, it's fine. For safety, in case you hit the wrong string, you'll be covered. Same thing, down, down, up. Lower notes of the G chord. Down, down, up. 6th string, 5th string, 4th string. But then, after that, we go back to the 6th string and play the 4th string with an upstroke. That's a measure of 5/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the way this sounds is here's the A major chord, 3/8 time. Okay, the way that aligns with the lyrics is the word sun is on the F chord. The A is just a pickup, leading you into this section. This is sun, C chord, sun again, sun. G chord, 3 notes of the chord are for the word sun. Sun. Then when he sings hear it, that's the other 2 remaining beats. That's beats 4 and 5 of the 5/8 measure. Hear it. So it's sun, 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 here it comes. And like I said, the A arpeggio does not have a lyric on it. Sun, 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 here it comes. All right, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go to D chord. We're back to 4/4 time. The quarter note is now the basic beat. What I do is I just play a bass note of D, the 4th string, maybe a little bit of the 3rd string. Just fill out the rest of the measure with whatever strumming you feel like. It's just 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go bass, down, down, up, down. Whatever you feel like doing. Then A chord. 2 beats on the A chord, 2/4 time. Sorry. So they do this section many times. Listen to the recording on Abbey Road 6 times or so. Whenever you want to get out of there, do it as long as you want to. What we do is we do this other section. So here's the last time. Sun, 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 here it comes. A7 chord. This is going to be a long build-up on A7. The main melody note is the 2nd string, 2nd fret. In other words, try not to hit the 1st string. The melody goes like this. I'll just play it, and we'll go from there. So that's all on an A7. Timing-wise, the beats fall like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and. So the and of 3, 4, and, the melody changes. The same rule applies. We're always using down and up strumming. I'm emphasizing that string that contains the melody. I'm trying not to surpass it, especially when it's on the 2nd string, because I don't want to hear the 1st string, because I want to hear the melody on the 2nd string. So kind of dig into it, and you might do that little trick of putting your pinky on the first string to block the first string in case you hit it. Maybe give it a nice ripply strum. Then we do filler. So just kind of the lower end of the A7 chord, nice and light. When you hit the high note, the high G on the A7, by the way, I have 2/7 in this A7 chord. I have the third string open, and I have the third fret of the first string. You could keep hammering away on that high G, or you could back off and just let it ring. So it's really up to you. So one would sound like this. This is with backing off after it. And this is with just going after it all the way. It creates a little more of a crescendo that way, but it's entirely up to you. Okay, so here's that entire A7 build-up section, which will take us back to the verse, the third verse. Right, so I'm staying out of the way of the melody when I don't need it. Filler, melody. So that's the material for the third verse. And if you're singing it, play the melody as you're singing it. It sounds great. Third verse is Little Darling, I feel the ice, that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. So third verse. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Chorus, here comes the sun. Right, and kind of lay into that lick. Maybe the last time through the song. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. It's alright. We do the lick again. And then we go right to the F chord from the middle section that we just learned. So no A arpeggio, just right to F. 3/8 time, C chord, G chord, 5/8 time, D chord. So the last time you do the it's alright, sorry, it's alright. Okay, so that very last part after the chorus is it's alright. It's alright. So it's a fun tune to learn. It develops certain things in your guitar playing maybe that you haven't learned before. Rhythmically, it's great practice. I recommend you do practice with a metronome to keep a steady beat. And take your time with it. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, requests, you can write us here at Woodsongs. And have fun.